Okay, today we're talking about how to record an electric bass guitar. Now, a while ago, I did a video on how to mic up bass camps and how to mic up guitar camps, and you can see that in the video up here. But before we go any further, I want to know about this hat. Do you know what this signifies? Come on, you must do. Comments below, please. Okay, anyway, so I'll just overview what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you how to set up the Pro Tools session for the bass. I'm going to talk about compressors here and here and here. And I'm also going to talk about mic preamps here, these mic preamps here. And finally, I'm going to review what we talked about last time in the last video about patch bass, because we're going to actually use one of the bloody things. And it's here.
Spaghetti.
Well, that's right. It looks like, I don't know, some very thick spaghetti that you'd use perhaps in carbonara. Anyway, it may look a bit chaotic, but what we've been doing, we've been recording live streams. We haven't broken down from it yet. So this is my sort of setup. That's Suzy's over there. But of course, we're now talking about recording the bass. So from the last video, you will notice I'm using the same mics. The Sennheiser MD421. The Neumann Vintage U47 FET. And a few things that I didn't mention in the last video. The first thing is the bass roll-off on this. You've got to make sure that that's off because we're recording bass at the end of the day. Here there's an attenuator, which at the moment I've got off because we're not recording too loud today. And here, the same. This has also got a bass roll-off on it, which you need to make sure is not engaged. Finally, we're talking about the DI. Now, I don't normally use the DI in a recording, but it's always good in case we have to reamp, and I'll probably do that in a separate video. But today we're using the most excellent Rupert Neve Designs DI. Right? Fantastic thing. Suzy is going to talk in a moment about a setup. Because if I start talking about it, she'll get irritated and slap me on the back of the head. So.
And almost to the bass. Fortunately, I didn't have to slap him around the back of the head. In fact, when we gig together, he's the one that usually knocks me on the head with the headstock of his guitar when we're rocking out. It has happened. You know, it's true. When I first started playing bass, it was that within a few weeks I was recording, and it really helped me with my technique, because when you're playing in a band scenario, you can't hear ringing strings, you can't hear when you're not muting, and you can't really get a sense of your own tone as well. So it's like standing naked listening to, you know, only isolate the bass sound. So it's a really good practice and discipline. So if you can get recording just to get to know what you sound like from the off, it's really, it's a great thing to do. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Bassland. Okay, here's my first amp. It's a Hiwatt DR201 1973. It was assembled and signed on the inside by Dave Reeves himself. It's 200 watt. So back in like the late 60s, bands like Led Zeppelin with John Paul Jones, we had Pink Floyd, The Who, Manfred Mann, Jethro Tull, they were all playing Hiwatt. So it's got that great British sound. And I'd like to introduce you to a brand new member of my stable. It's the brand new Supertone 2x15. 2x15 because it's got two Weber 15-inch speakers inside. And the cabinet was specifically made for those speakers. And it's ported, which has got some sort of hollow holes in, which makes the sound a lot creamier. When it comes to cables as well, you can like remortgage your house with cables, but you know, we decided not to. So we've developed, and we've got this Supertone Min Cap A cable, which is what we use on all our gigs. It's got a switching Neutrik jack. The cable's made by Summer, the best that you can get in our opinion in the world. And it's 6 meters long, and it's that length that you don't lose the high frequencies. My bass, this is my baby. Mm-hmm. It's my Mike Lowe M4V, made by Mike Lowe himself. And I learned to play bass on this, and it's such a flexible guitar. You can rock out of it, and it's also got that beautiful sound where you can also, it sounds acoustic almost. It's very flexible. All the hardware on the Mike Lowe guitars, including this one, is made by Hipshot, and they're just outstanding, world class. And I've also got a drop D tuner as well, which is really handy for when you're gigging and just want to drop that bottom E down to the D. My strings, They're flats. Woo! And it's like going across a floor on your knees, oiled. And they're made by Tomastic Infeld. And finally, this is where my sound is. These are my hands, my fingers.
The critical bit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is check the levels of the bass. And I'm going to get Suzy to play along with the drum machine, and then I'm going to check the levels. Now these are the 3 microphones. That's the 421 that you saw before. That's the U47 FET, and that's the DI. Now, these 2 here have transformer balanced inputs. These turn the mics on. The Neumann is phantom powered, so I've got the phantom power on. And the DI, of course, is phantom powered. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it to play. I've already listened to each one of these to make sure that the sound's good of each of the mics, but now we're just going to get the level with the playing. There's no pads in at the moment, because what these do, these reduce the level going into the preamps by 20 dB. And here, there's another pad as well. I think that's about 20 dB or 30 dB pad here as well. So I'm just going to do that, get those right. And then once we've done that, we need to listen to them all together to make sure that the phase, everything's in phase, because if they're not in phase, you're going to hear a really hollow sound, which I will probably illustrate at some stage. Anyway, we're going to get Suzy to play now, and I'm going to adjust the levels. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm just going to adjust the volumes for each microphone. Now, this is only a rough guide. These meters are not great, so what the final thing is to do it actually on Pro Tools to make sure that it's not overloaded. So look at the meters on Pro Tools. So you can see there, that's the U47 FET. That's the DI. And the thing is, Starlite, she's actually really good with the fingers. She's actually really consistent. So, but I'll talk about compression in a minute. I call her the Starlite compressor because she does it herself. Okay, that looks about right. See, I'll just tell them down a bit. Okay, there we go. Make sure you've got plenty of headroom. Nothing goes into the red, because she does play a bit hard, it'll just jump up. Okay, there we are. What we've done now is that we've routed the Pro Tools system back into the console here. And we're coming in on channels 10, 11 and 12. I'm not going to go anything through this because this is another video. But I'm using inserts here. I've inserted, that's what those little yellow lights in. Insert! It is not this. I'm not inserting this anywhere. You've got to watch that. What we've done is we've inserted these compressors here and using the patch bay. So those are the channels that we saw last time. That's 10, 11 and 12. That's channels that you've on this console there. That's out of the console, into the compressors, out the compressors, back into the console again.
Into Betty.
Into Betty, the Cadillac. Okay, so we have seen Starlite play. We have recorded Starlite. I have this ready because it's very hot at the moment and there's flies everywhere. That is why I'm wearing my skirt, Lunghi. It takes a man, a real man, to wear a skirt. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the track. This is what I've recorded.
Pink.
Listen to through the ATCs. The bass is a bit loud, but what I've done, I've positioned the mic so they sound good. I put it back to the console, no EQ at all. That is just the raw bass. What I have done though, is I've applied some compression. Here, that is the 421. That is the U47. And down here, that is the DI. And at the moment, we've got all the mics in.
What was that? Sorry?
We've got all the mics in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mute them.
Do it again.
That is the U47. 421. And the DI. And listen how horrible that DI sounds.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't sound horrible.
Well, it's not
that
rich.
No, it's not. So let's get rid of the DI. And let's put it on again. Let's just go back. And
Let's have a look.
yeah, let's go back. Now I'm not going to show you because she'll start getting big-headed. But if you look at where that bass is compared, it's all right, no problem. The hat, compared with where the drum machine and the kick is, it's nailed to the groove, and that is a bass sound without any EQ or anything. It's quite rich, it's quite thick at the moment. I'll probably have to thin it out a bit to get in a mix, but to me it sounds great. No EQ, just the compression, and I'm going to come out of compression next time. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please comment below. Remember, I need to know about the hat, and talk to me about the smiley fly swatter. See you next time.